Under the gray skies of Portland, single dad Ethan Cole was pulled over while rushing his feverish daughter to the hospital. Officer Maya Reed, stern and duty-bound, began writing a ticket until she noticed the little girl in the back seat whispering, "Daddy, it hurts." Something inside Maya cracked. "If you're not married," she said softly, "let me help." That single sentence would change all three lives, leading to a night of sirens, hospital corridors, and choices that would test where compassion ends and love begins. Rain hammered the windshield like gravel. Ethan Cole gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, eyes darting between the road and the rearview mirror. His daughter Lily lay across the back seat, her breathing shallow and rapid. "Daddy, my head." Her voice was barely a whisper. "5 more minutes, baby. 5 minutes." The speedometer climbed past 60. Portland's east side streets blurred into streaks of neon and wet asphalt. Ethan had been a paramedic, once 9 years responding to emergencies, saving lives. He knew what 104-degree fever could become. He'd seen sepsis take people in hours. Blue lights erupted behind him. No, 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 no. His foot hesitated over the brake. Every second counted. But he pulled over. Tires splashing through a puddle outside a closed gas station. The officer approached slowly, flashlight cutting through the rain. Maya Reed, 32, 7 years on the force. She'd made 200 traffic stops this year alone. Most were routine. Some were hostile. None had prepared her for what she was about to see. She tapped on the window. Ethan rolled it down, rain spattering his face. "License and registration." "Do you know how fast you were?" "My daughter's sick. I'm trying to get her to Emmanuel Hospital. Please." Maya's expression didn't change. She'd heard every excuse. "Sir, I need your license." Ethan fumbled for his wallet, hands shaking. Behind him, Lily made a small sound, not quite a moan, more like air escaping a punctured tire. Maya's flashlight swept the back seat. The little girl's eyes were half closed, unfocused. Her skin had a grayish tint, even in the harsh LED beam. A stuffed rabbit lay on the floor, soaked from where she'd dropped it. Maya's training said, "Write the ticket, call an ambulance if needed, maintain professional distance." Her instinct said something else entirely. How long has she been like this? "Fever started this morning, got worse an hour ago. She won't wake up all the way." Ethan's voice cracked. "I'm out of options. My insurance. I can't explain right now, but I need to get her there." Maya looked at the man. Mid-30s, delivery company uniform, exhaustion carved into every line of his face. She looked at the child. 7, maybe 8 years old. Small for her age. She made a decision that would end her career as she knew it. "Follow me. Stay close." "What?" "I'm giving you an escort. Turn your hazards on, and do not lose sight of my vehicle." She ran back to her cruiser, adrenaline overriding protocol. Her partner was off duty tonight. No one would question her immediately. She flipped the siren on and pulled ahead, cutting through traffic like a blade. Behind her, Ethan followed, tears streaming down his face. The drive took 4 minutes. It should have taken 12. Emmanuel Hospital's emergency entrance blazed with fluorescent light. Maya parked illegally, blocking half the ambulance bay. Ethan pulled up beside her, already throwing open his door. He carried Lily in his arms, her head lolling against his shoulder. Maya held the doors as they burst inside. 7-year-old female, high fever, altered consciousness, possible sepsis. Maya's voice was sharp, controlled. The triage nurse looked up, recognized the uniform, and moved fast. Within seconds, Lily was on a gurney. A doctor appeared young, competent, already barking orders. "Get me vitals, blood cultures, start an IV. I want a full panel, and let's get pediatrics down here now." Ethan tried to follow them through the double doors. A nurse blocked his path gently but firmly. "You need to stay here, sir. We'll update you as soon as we can. That's my daughter. We know. Let us work." The doors swung shut. The sound echoed like a judge's gavel. Ethan stood there, soaked, shaking, staring at nothing. Maya stood 3 feet away, radio crackling on her hip. She should leave. She should file her report, explain the escort, get back on patrol. She stayed. "You should sit down," she said. He didn't respond, didn't move. "Sir, sit." He sank into one of the plastic waiting room chairs, head in his hands. Maya sat 2 seats away, maintaining distance but present. Her uniform felt heavier than usual. The waiting room smelled like disinfectant and old coffee. A television mounted in the corner played the local news on mute. An elderly couple sat in the far corner, holding hands. A janitor pushed a mop across the linoleum with slow, practiced strokes. Maya's mind drifted. 2 years ago, she'd sat in a different waiting room. Different hospital. Same smell. Her fiancé Daniel had been the patient, then a paramedic injured in a highway accident while transporting a cardiac patient. He'd made the other medic swerve to avoid a deer. They'd rolled 3 times. Daniel never woke up. She'd worn her dress uniform to his funeral. 300 people came. She remembered none of their faces. "Thank you," Ethan's voice pulled her back. "I was just doing. Don't say your job." "That wasn't procedure." "I know procedure. I used to run calls." Maya met his eyes. Red-rimmed, desperate, but intelligent. "You're a paramedic?" "Was. Got laid off when the private ambulance company merged. Been driving deliveries for 8 months. He laughed bitterly. 60-hour weeks, and I still can't keep up with rent. What happened to her mother? The question hung in the air too long. COVID. 3 years ago. Jessica was a teacher. Healthy, young. Got sick in October, gone by November. Sepsis, secondary pneumonia. I watched her. He stopped. I can't watch Lily go the same way. Maya felt something crack inside her chest. The professional barrier she'd built so carefully, brick by brick, for 2 years it developed a fissure. "You won't," she said. And she had no authority to promise that. But she did anyway. An hour passed. Then another. No updates. Maya should have left 12 times. She stayed through all 12 moments. At 9:47 p.m., a woman in business casual approached. Hospital administrator, badge clipped to her belt. She carried a tablet and the expression of someone about to deliver bad news wrapped in bureaucracy. "Mr. Cole?" Ethan stood so fast he nearly knocked over his chair. "Your daughter is stable for now. They're admitting her to pediatric intensive care. Dr. Simmons suspects bacterial meningitis, but we're waiting on culture results. She'll need aggressive antibiotic treatment, possibly for 7 to 10 days. Can I see her?" "Soon. But first, we need to discuss financial arrangements." The woman tapped her tablet. "Your insurance shows as inactive. We'll need a deposit before we can proceed with admission." The blood drained from Ethan's face. "How much?" "For the estimated treatment course, including ICU care, we're looking at $18,000 within 48 hours. The number hit like a physical blow. Ethan actually staggered. My company switched providers last month. The transition was supposed to be automatic. I have insurance. I just need to. I understand, Mr. Cole. We can work with you if you can provide proof of coverage. But until then, I'll get it. I'll call them tonight. Just please, don't stop treating her." The administrator's expression softened slightly. "We won't stop emergency treatment. But for continued care beyond stabilization, we need assurance." She left him with a stack of forms and a payment hotline number. Ethan sank back into the chair. He pulled out his phone with trembling hands, opened his banking app. The numbers glowed cruel and clear. $847.23. He called his delivery company's HR line. Got an automated message. "Office hours only." He left a voicemail that probably sounded like a hostage video. Maya watched him spiral. She'd seen this before, the moment when hope collides with arithmetic and loses. He stood abruptly. walked outside into the rain. Maya followed at a distance. Ethan leaned against the brick wall near the ambulance bay, face turned up to the sky, letting the rain wash over him. His shoulders shook. Maya approached slowly. Hey, didn't respond. There are programs. Patient assistance, charity care. I can help you find. I applied to 11 assistance programs last year when Jessica was dying. You know how many approved us? 0. Too much income by $2,000. Too little income to actually survive. He laughed, a broken sound. I sold everything. Her car, our wedding, China, my guitar, my tools. I thought once I got through that, we'd be okay. And now, Maya reached into her jacket, pulled out an envelope. Inside was a check. Handwritten. $5,000. Take this. Ethan stared at it like it was a live grenade. What is that? For Lily. I can't. You can. And you will. I don't even know you. His voice rose. Why would you do this? Maya's jaw tightened. Because 2 years ago, someone's daughter lost her father, and I couldn't stop it. Maybe I can stop this. I'm not a charity case. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering help. There's a difference. Ethan looked at the check, then at her face, then back at the check. Pride and desperation fought a visible war across his features. He pushed the envelope back into her hands. I appreciate what you did tonight. The escort, staying here. But I can't take your money. I'll figure something out. He walked back inside, leaving Maya standing in the rain, envelope in hand, feeling more helpless than she'd ever felt in uniform. Maya returned to the precinct at midnight. She was supposed to have ended her shift 3 hours ago. Dispatch had called twice. Sergeant Howard was waiting. He was 56, wore reading glasses on a chain, and had the expression of a man who'd seen every variation of bad judgment. Reed. My office. She followed him into the small room that smelled like burnt coffee and old paperwork. He gestured for her to sit. She remained standing. You want to tell me why you abandoned your patrol zone for 3 hours? Medical emergency. I provided escort to Emmanuel. That's what ambulances are for. The child was critical. The father was panicking. I made a judgment call. Howard studied her. You've been solid for 7 years. Since Daniel died, you've been robotic. By the book. To a fault. Tonight you break protocol for a speeding ticket? Yes, sir. Why? Maya hesitated. The honest answer was complicated. Tangled in grief and guilt, and the sudden overwhelming need to do something that mattered. The professional answer was simpler, because it was the right thing to do. Howard sighed. The right thing and the allowed thing aren't always the same. I'm documenting this. Consider it a verbal warning. Next time, you call for an ambulance. You don't play hero. Understood? Understood. She left his office, changed out of her uniform, and drove home to her small apartment in Northeast Portland. 1 bedroom, minimal furniture, everything in its place. She'd lived there for 18 months, and it still felt temporary. She sat at her kitchen table with her laptop, coffee going cold beside her. She started searching. Medical debt assistance programs. Hospital charity applications. Crowdfunding platforms. She found Ethan's social media profile sparse, mostly photos of Lily at playgrounds, birthday parties, pumpkin patches. Before that, older photos included a woman with kind eyes and dark curly hair, Jessica. Gone 3 years, but still present in every image of her daughter's smile. Maya read the obituary. Jessica Marie Cole, 32. Beloved wife and teacher. In lieu of flowers, donations to the local food bank, she found the news about the ambulance company merger. 63 paramedics laid off. Several interviewed about scrambling to find work. Maintain certifications. Support families. She found Daniel's obituary next, though she didn't mean to. Daniel Christopher Reed, 34. Heroic paramedic. Survived by his fiancée. not widow. They'd been 3 weeks from the wedding. She closed the laptop, looked around her empty apartment, and made a decision. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He sat in Lily's ICU room, watching monitors track her heartbeat, her breathing, her oxygen levels. Every alarm made his pulse spike. By morning, she was stable but not conscious. The doctors spoke in careful language about watching for improvement and continuing aggressive treatment. He left the hospital at dawn to shower and change. The apartment was silent. Lily's cereal bowl still sat on the table from yesterday morning, milk dried in the bottom. He called the insurance company. Spent 40 minutes on hold. Got transferred 3 times. Finally reached someone who confirmed his worst fear. The transition hadn't processed correctly. His coverage had lapsed. Reinstating it would take 5 to 7 business days. My daughter is in ICU right now. I understand, sir, but the system requires. He hung up. He called his delivery company supervisor. Asked about an advance on his paycheck. Company policy doesn't allow. He hung up. He looked around the apartment. What was left to sell? The television was 8 years old, worth maybe $50. The couch came from a thrift store. Lily's toys were already second-hand. His wedding ring, he'd never taken it off. 3 years and his finger still bore the tan line. He twisted it slowly, feeling the weight of the gold band, the inscription inside. Forever starts today. J. He put it in his pocket. By noon, he was at a pawn shop on 82nd Avenue. The man behind the counter was professional, not unkind. He tested the gold, weighed the ring, made an offer. $300. It's worth more than that. To you, yes. To me, it's 7 grams of 14 karat. $300. Ethan took the cash. That evening, he picked up a shift with a rideshare app. Then another. He drove until his vision blurred, picking up fares at bars and restaurants, making small talk he didn't hear. At 2 a.m., he pulled into a gas station to refuel. The numbers on the pump climbed. His card declined. He tried again. Declined. He checked his balance. Negative $43, overdraft fees. He sat in his car in the fluorescent glare of the gas station, head against the steering wheel, and felt something inside him simply break. Maya's shift started at 3 p.m. She arrived an hour early, went straight to the bank next to the precinct. She'd spent the morning reviewing her finances. Her savings account held $17,000, 5 years of careful accumulation, money she'd been setting aside for a house someday. A future that felt abstract and distant. Her pension account held more. Early withdrawal meant penalties, meant taxes, meant gutting her retirement. She filled out the forms anyway. The bank officer, a woman named Sandra with sympathetic eyes, walked her through the process. You're certain about this? The penalty is substantial. I'm certain. Can I ask what it's for? Maya looked at her. Someone's life. The money transferred within an hour. Maya set up a direct payment to Emmanuel Hospital's billing department, marked for Ethan Cole's account. She didn't tell him. She went on patrol, responded to calls, wrote reports. At 8 p.m., her phone rang. Hospital number. This is Officer Reed. Officer, this is Joan Martinez from Emmanuel's billing department. We received a large payment toward Mr. Cole's account from your personal account. I'm calling to confirm this wasn't an error. Not an error. I need to inform you that there are regulations about this kind of. I'm aware. The payment stands. Silence. Then, okay. I'll process it. His daughter's treatment can continue. Maya hung up. She felt lighter and heavier at once. 3 hours later, Sergeant Howard called her into his office again. This time, Lieutenant Barnes was there too. Barnes was young for his rank, ambitious, and didn't like complications. Reed, did you make a $15,000 payment to a civilian's hospital bill? No point in lying. Yes, sir. On behalf of someone you met during a traffic stop? Yes, sir. Barnes leaned forward. Do you understand how this looks? You could be accused of bribery, improper influence. Any number of, I'm not asking for anything in return. The payment was personal, from my own funds, with no expectation of, that's not how the ethics board will see it, or the media, if they get wind of it. Howard rubbed his temples. Reed, what were you thinking? I was thinking a child needs medical care and her father can't afford it. That's not your problem to solve. Then whose is it? Maya's voice rose slightly. We respond to emergencies. This is an emergency. I had the means to help. I helped. Barnes shook his head. You're suspended, pending an ethics investigation. 2 weeks. Without pay. Badge and weapon. Now, Maya unclipped her badge, set it on the desk. Her service weapon followed. Am I under arrest? No, but you've crossed a line. Whether you meant well or not, there are procedures. You don't get to be a vigilante with a badge. She left the precinct in civilian clothes, feeling exposed without the weight of her duty belt. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. What did you do, Ethan? She didn't reply immediately. She drove to a coffee shop, ordered something she didn't taste, and finally typed back. What needed to be done? You can't just I don't even. Why? She stared at the screen for a long time. Finally, because I've been where you are. And no one helped me. 20 minutes later, there was a knock on her apartment door. She opened it to find Ethan Cole standing there, holding a wilted bouquet of grocery store flowers and crying. I can't accept this. I have to pay you back. You can't afford to pay me back. That's why I did it. I don't understand. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. Maya stepped aside. Come in. He hesitated, then entered. Her apartment was small, neat, impersonal, except for one photo on the mantel, her and Daniel at a beach somewhere, laughing. That's him? Ethan asked, looking at the photo. Yeah. What happened? Highway accident. He was transporting a patient, swerved to avoid a deer, rolled the ambulance. His partner survived. He didn't. I'm sorry. Me too. She gestured for him to sit. You asked me why. The truth is, I don't know if I can explain it completely. When I saw your daughter, when I heard your voice crack, something just shifted. Maybe it's because I know what it's like to lose someone and feel powerless. Maybe it's because I've been going through the motions for 2 years and this was the first time something felt real. Ethan set the flowers on her coffee table. I'll pay you back. I don't know how, but I will. Ethan, no, listen, you saved my daughter's life, twice. First by getting us to the hospital, then by making sure she could stay there. I can't let that just be. I have to do something. Maya saw it in his eyes, the same stubborn pride she recognized in herself. She understood. Debt wasn't always financial. Sometimes it was moral, spiritual. It needed to be acknowledged. Okay. Someday, when you're able, you pay it forward. Help someone else the way I helped you. He nodded slowly. Deal. They sat in her quiet apartment, two broken people held together by circumstance and shared grief. And something shifted between them, not romance, not yet, but recognition. A sense of not being alone. Lily woke up on the 4th day. Ethan was asleep in the chair beside her bed when her small voice cut through the beeping monitors. Daddy? His eyes snapped open. Baby. Oh God. Baby. You're awake. Where am I? The hospital. You were really sick, but you're going to be okay now. She looked around the room, taking in the IV line, the monitors, the sterile walls. How long? 4 days. That's a long time. Yeah, it is. Her eyes, still glassy but alert, focused on him. You look tired. He laughed, a sound that was half sob. I am a little tired. Where's the lady with the blue lights? Ethan blinked. What? The lady. She had blue lights on her car. She was nice. I remember her helping us. You remember that? A little. I was really scared. But then I saw the blue lights, and I felt safer. Ethan felt his throat close. Yeah. She helped us a lot. Can she visit? I'll ask her. The next day, Maya came. She wore jeans and a sweater, her hair down instead of pulled back in her regulation bun. She looked younger, less guarded. She brought a coloring book, one about animals, and a fresh pack of crayons. Hi, Lily. I'm Maya. Lily studied her with the serious intensity only children can manage. You're the blue light lady. I guess I am. Thank you for helping my daddy. He cries sometimes when he thinks I'm sleeping. Ethan flushed. Maya smiled gently. Your daddy loves you very much. That's why he cries. Because he cares. Do you have kids? No. Why not? Lily, Ethan interjected. That's a personal question. It's okay. Maya sat on the edge of the bed. I haven't found the right person yet. Maybe someday. Lily considered this. You could be my friend. Then, you'd be around all the time. I'd like that. They colored together for an hour. Lily chattered about school, her favorite foods, the cat she wanted to adopt someday. Normal kid things. Things that felt miraculous after 4 days of silence. A nurse stopped by to check vitals, saw them together, and smiled. You've got a beautiful family. The words hung in the air. No one corrected her. Later, in the hallway, Ethan walked Maya to the elevator. Thank you for coming. It meant a lot to her. She's a sweet kid. She thinks you're a superhero. Maya smiled. I'm really not. You are to us. The elevator dinged. The doors opened. Maya, I know you're in trouble because of me. I talked to the billing department. They told me what you did. I told you. I know what you told me. But I need you to know that I see it. I see what you gave up. And I swear, I'll make it right. She stepped into the elevator. Just take care of your daughter. That's all I need. The doors closed, but something lingered in the space between them, something warm and terrifying and new. Maya's suspension became public knowledge within a week. The Oregonian ran a piece. Cops suspended after paying strangers' medical bills. The story framed her as either a hero or a cautionary tale, depending on the paragraph. Some comments called her an angel, others called her reckless. A few suggested she'd violated ethics codes and should be fired. Maya didn't read most of it. The ethics board hearing took place on a Tuesday. She wore a suit, answered questions honestly, and accepted the consequences. The board ruled that while her actions weren't illegal, they violated department policy regarding personal involvement with civilians encountered on duty. Final verdict. Suspension extended to 30 days. Mandatory review before returning to active duty. She cleaned out her locker, drove home, and tried to figure out what to do with 30 days of unstructured time. Ethan called that evening. I saw the news. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. Yes, it is. If I hadn't been speeding, if you hadn't been speeding, your daughter might have died. You did what you had to. So did I. I want to do something. I don't know what, but I can't just let you take the fall for this. Ethan, there's no fall to take. I made a choice. I'd make it again. Silence. Then quietly. You're a good person, Maya Reed. I'm really not. I'm just trying to be less broken. 2 weeks into her suspension, Ethan called again. I have an idea. Can you meet me at the hospital? She found him in the lobby with Lily now discharged, and walking with a slight bounce and a hospital administrator she recognized. What's going on? Ethan grinned. Tell her. The administrator, the same woman who'd delivered the financial news weeks ago, looked almost excited. After your story went public, we received over $200,000 in donations to our patient assistance fund. People were inspired. They wanted to help families like Mr. Cole's. We're establishing a new program, emergency medical grants for uninsured families. We're calling it the Reed Emergency Fund. Maya felt her knees weaken. You're doing what? Naming it after you, if that's okay. I don't know what to say. Lily tugged on her hand. Say yes. Then other kids won't have to be scared like I was. Maya looked at Ethan. His eyes were bright with tears and pride. "Yes," she whispered. The program launched the following month. Maya attended the ribbon cutting, uncomfortable in the spotlight but unable to deny the weight of what had happened. Ethan had taken a new job back in the medical field, training as an emergency dispatcher. The hours were better, the pay was stable, and most importantly, he felt like he was contributing again. He and Maya started meeting for coffee once a week. Sometimes Lily came. Sometimes it was just the two of them, talking about life, loss, and the strange ways people found each other. It wasn't dating, not yet. It was something slower, more careful, two people learning to trust again. 6 months after the night that changed everything, Maya returned to duty. She'd passed her review, attended additional ethics training, and signed a document promising to maintain appropriate boundaries. She was assigned a new partner, a rookie named Thompson, who asked too many questions but listened well. On her first day back, she drove past Emmanuel Hospital on her way home. The new sign was visible from the street. Reed Emergency Fund. Helping families in crisis. She pulled over, sat in her patrol car, and cried for 5 minutes. Then she wiped her eyes and drove home. Ethan was waiting on her doorstep. "How was your first day back?" "Surreal." "Good surreal or bad surreal?" "I'm not sure yet." He handed her an envelope. Inside was a key and a hand-drawn map by Lily showing a small building with a coffee cup on the roof. "What's this?" "Lily and I have been working on something. We wanted to surprise you." She followed him across town to a small storefront near the hospital. The windows were covered with brown paper. He unlocked the door. Inside was a nearly finished cafe. Walls painted warm, yellow, mismatched chairs, arranged around small tables. A long counter with an espresso machine. "Ethan, what is this?" "I used some of the money from the donor fund legally, with permission to start a small business. A coffee shop. It's going to serve hospital staff, families waiting for news, people who need a place to breathe. This is incredible. Look at the sign." He pulled down the paper covering the front window. Hand-painted letters announced, "Blue Light Coffee, where hope lives." Maya couldn't speak. Lily ran in from the back room, covered in paint. "Do you like it? Daddy said we should name it after the night you saved me." "I love it. Will you come here?" "A lot. Every chance I get." Over the following months, Blue Light Coffee became exactly what Ethan envisioned a refuge. Nurses grabbed lattes between shifts. Families waiting for surgery updates found community. Local artists displayed work on the walls. Maya's old badge hung in a shadow box near the register. Alongside Lily's crayon, drawing of a police car with blue lights. Maya started volunteering at the shop on her days off. She learned to make a decent cappuccino. She learned to listen to strangers' stories without trying to fix them. She and Ethan grew closer slowly, carefully, like two people who'd been burned, learning to approach fire again. They didn't rush. They had time. Spring arrived. Portland's gray skies gave way to unexpected blue. Cherry blossoms erupted along the streets. Maya's suspension was a memory now. She'd been commended for her work with a new community outreach program. The ethics board quietly admitted that sometimes good people made unconventional choices. Blue Light Coffee thrived. Ethan hired 2 part-time baristas. Lily, now 8, had a special stool behind the counter where she did homework and greeted regulars by name. On a Sunday morning in April, Maya arrived at the cafe before it opened. She had a key now, not officially, but Ethan had pressed it into her hand months ago and refused to take it back. The shop was quiet. Dawn light filtered through the windows, catching dust motes in its gold. Ethan was waiting at their usual table, 2 cups of coffee already poured. "You're up early," she said. "Couldn't sleep. Everything okay?" He slid a folded piece of paper across the table. She recognized it immediately, the note she'd written in the hospital that first night, the one that had started everything. She'd forgotten about it. "If you're not married, let me help." "I kept it," he said. "I don't know why. Maybe because it was the moment everything changed." Maya traced her own handwriting with her finger. That feels like a lifetime ago. It was. We're different people now. Better people, I think. Definitely better. He took a breath. Maya, I've been thinking about that phrase. About what it meant then, and what it could mean now. She looked up. You said, if you're not married. Like it was a condition. Like, you could only help me if I was alone. But the truth is, I'm not alone anymore. Neither of us is. Ethan, let me finish. Please. His hands shook slightly. You saved my daughter's life. You gave up your career, your savings, your peace of mind. Not because you had to, but because you couldn't stand by. And in the process of saving her, you saved me too. From despair, from loneliness, from forgetting that good people still exist. Tears pricked Maya's eyes. So I want to change the question. Not, if you're not married, but, will you marry me? Not because you saved us, not because you feel obligated, but because you stayed, because you kept showing up. Because when I think about the future, I can't imagine it without you in it. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a simple silver ring. No diamonds, just brushed metal catching the morning light. I can't afford anything fancy. Someday, maybe I'll buy you a proper ring. But right now, all I have is this and a promise. I will spend the rest of my life making sure you never regret saying yes. Maya's vision blurred. You're asking me to marry you in a coffee shop at dawn. Yeah, that's very on brand for us. Is that a yes? She laughed through her tears. Yes. Yes, of course, yes. He slipped the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly, as if it had always belonged there. Behind them, the front door burst open. Lily ran in, wearing pajamas and rain boots, followed by Ethan's neighbor, who'd clearly been enlisted as part of the conspiracy. Did she say yes? Did she? She said yes. Lily launched herself at Maya, wrapping small arms around her waist. Now you're really my family. I was always your family, sweetie. I know. But now it's official. They sat together as the city woke up around them, drinking coffee that was too strong and making plans for a future that had seemed impossible not so long ago. Maya looked at her ring, at Ethan's face, at Lily's joy, and felt something she'd forgotten existed: peace. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of purpose. Outside, the first customers began to arrive. Hospital staff in scrubs, neighbors walking dogs, strangers who'd become friends. Ethan stood to unlock the door, paused, and looked back at Maya. Thank you, he said. For what? For that night. For pulling me over. For breaking protocol. For being impossible to forget. She smiled. Thank you for speeding. He laughed, flipped the sign to open, and let the morning rush in. And above them, catching the light, Maya's old badge gleamed beside Lily's drawing, a reminder that, sometimes, the rules we break lead us exactly where we need to be.